Have you ever considered the environmental impact of those plastic seed trays that we like to use? Today we'll explore 4 alternative methods for starting seeds that are not only good for your plants, but also good for the planet as well. From recycled materials to innovative containers, we'll show you how to cultivate a thriving garden with minimal plastic waste. Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Warren, and you're watching The Plant Doctor. Let's get started. So I've been using these plastic containers for years, thinking that I was doing a good thing by using them for 2 or 3 years. And then the inserts, they would get dry rotted and they would get holes and crinkled up and they weren't any good. I would take them to the local recycling center and drop them off. And then one day the recycling center manager says, hey, you know those plastics, we can't recycle those, we just throw them over in the garbage bin. And this is something I did not know. So if you look at a piece of plastic and it has the recycle logo on it, if there's a number in the middle of it, that's the type of plastic it is. And I believe the inserts are plastic number 5 and the tray was plastic number 1. And he said, we only do I can't remember the exact numbers, 2 and 3 and 7 or something. But they did not do these. They were throwing them away. So I asked myself, there has to be a better way than using these single-use plastics to start my garden, to grow things for my landscape, my annuals that I like to start from seed. So I began to explore alternative methods for starting seed that were not only going to be good for my plants, but also have a lower environmental impact. So the first method I want to show you is actually a very cheap and inexpensive method that we can use year after year after year. And that is using these grill pans that cost like $1.25 a piece. The first step is we need to put some holes in it because you do not want your soil media to be stagnant when you put water in there and then you have waterlogged seeds and then they die. So we need some weep holes in this, and I found what works best for me. I have a little irrigation tool here that has a tool to puncture 1/4 inch drip tube. So I've got a lot of drip irrigation in my backyard, and I can take this. If you don't have this, you can use an ice pick and just poke a few holes in the bottom of it. And you want your holes to be small enough that the water can drip through, but not so big that your potting media drains through the bottom as well. So use an ice pick, use something really small to poke holes in the bottom of this. And then from there, what you can do, simply fill up your pan with about 3 inches of potting mix. Then once we have our potting mix in the pan, we can simply add our seeds across the top. We can water it, and then with the holes in the bottom of it, we don't have to worry about our seeds becoming waterlogged. This makes for a great reusable way to start seedlings. Another way that we can use aluminum instead of plastics to start our seeds is use a big pan like this and then a small pan. If you're a fan of the watering from the bottom up method like I am, that's the main reason I like those trays, is because it allows me to water from the bottom up. You can water from the bottom up using aluminum as well. So the bottom tray, we would not punch any holes in the bottom of it. This is going to be there to hold water. We would punch holes in the small ones. We'll punch 4 to 5 holes in the small ones. We'll put our potting mix in these small ones. And once we have our small containers in our large aluminum bin, we can then begin to water from the bottom up. We'll put water in the bottom of this. The weep holes we put in the small aluminum containers will go up through those holes and water our seeds. So aluminum trays can provide us with a lifetime of being able to start seeds where we're not constantly throwing something away. What I can do with this, I can wash it off with a hose. If I want to get it really clean, I can stick it in the dishwasher and store it away for the next seed starting season. The second way we can start seeds without using plastic is to use a paper cup. Now, to be completely honest with you, there is some plastic-based stuff in paper cups. They put something called polyethylene that coats these cups. Sometimes they use paraffin wax as well. And that's not a plastic, I don't believe, but it acts in the same way. And so I looked up, how long does it take for a paper cup to break down at a landfill? And it said 15 to 20 years because there is a wax covering on these cups. So let's say you go to McDonald's and you get a cup and you start a seed in it. I don't want you to think, the second you throw this in the landfill that it's going to be decomposed in a few months. That's not the case. But compared to the 400 to 500 years it takes for plastic to fully break down in the environment, this is a way, way better option. And also you're cutting down on your single use by using a cup. So we're going to use this as a cup and also as a method to start seeds. But I think this would be self-explanatory. You simply take your cup, you fill it up with potting mix. You would want to poke 3 or 4 holes in the bottom. Here again, use something very small. You want to use something where the hole is small enough that the water can get through, but the soil media is not going to leach out the bottom either. You'd simply put your seed in the top of that, and depending on what you're growing, within 2 days all the way out to 2 weeks, you should have a seedling in this cup. A third thing you can use is just an old cardboard box. Now I've cut this one down, so this one was pretty tall, but you want a box that can supply you with about 3 inches worth of height. And you're just going to put in your potting mix, your starting mix, whatever you're using here. We're going to fill this up to 2 to 3 inches tall all the way around. Make sure, a pro tip here, that the tape on the bottom of your box is fully secure, because you are putting a little bit of weight in here. And so cardboard is hydrophilic until it's hydrophobic. So what do we mean by this? At first, cardboard is going to repel water. I recently did a video on the benefits of using cardboard in the landscape. I'll try to remember to leave that linked up here. And initially, cardboard, water will run off of it. But as it begins to get a little bit of water in it, it will soak up more and more water. And we're going to use this to our advantage. If you've got seeds that aren't going to take longer than about 2 weeks to germinate, this is a very good idea to start seeds without using plastics. Now, to get technical here, there is going to be some plastic material more than likely in the tape that you use. A cardboard box in my area, I looked it up, it said 6 to 12 months to fully decompose. I'm in the southeastern United States where it gets very hot, it's extremely humid. Decomposition happens really fast. That's going to be slower if you're in other parts of the world. If you're in a very arid environment, the cardboard may take up to 1 year or 2 to break down. So like if you're in the desert Southwest, or you're in the outback of Australia or the Sahara Desert, it's going to take longer for the cardboard to break down. But it's only going to be a couple of years compared to a few hundred years for those plastic trays. The last method is perhaps my favorite. So what I've done here, I have taken a paper towel roll. You can use toilet paper rolls as well. And I've cut it down into fourths. I've also cut up a brown paper bag, and all I'm going to do is put the brown paper bag on the bottom of one of these paper rolls. What I'm going to do here is take a rubber band and secure the brown paper bag to the bottom of that paper towel holder, and we've just made a little cup. And from here we can simply take our potting mix, fill it up, and this is going to hold up long enough for us to be able to get a seed to germinate. So the brown paper bag will probably decompose here in a matter of a month or so, but that's going to give us enough time to get that seed started in this. Now the paper towel holder, the cardboard that's used in the paper towel holders, I looked it up and Google recommended about 2 months decomposition on that, and the paper bag was a couple of weeks. So this gives you just enough time to be able to start a seed with something as simple as the cardboard from paper towels, a brown paper sack, and a rubber band. If there's methods that you use that are non-plastic to start seeds, please share those with us. I'm eager to learn about them, and I'm sure our community is eager to learn about those as well. Also, if you found this video helpful, please consider giving us a like and a subscription as well. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor, and until next time, happy gardening.